All right, you
I'm
want
ready.
to kick this ish off?
Oh, yeah, that's my thing, huh?
This is On Air with... Oh, geez. This is Almost On Air with Erica and Jon.
Are you drinking out of a red Solo cup?
I am drinking out of a red Solo cup. Is that a problem? This is like the normal glassware in our house.
It was so unexpected for me that I had to interrupt this podcast.
Yeah, I feel bad when I tell people that we use like plastic things because it's like not good for the environment. But I feel like it's different when it comes to red Solo cups because we actually use them often. For example, we just have a ton left over from the Super Bowl.
But are you still throwing that away?
I mean, most of the time we're not really reusing red Solo cups. But we bought a bunch for the Super Bowl and obviously like didn't have a bunch of people over this year, but we still bought the 100 pack because it's just cheaper. And so now we have all these red Solo cups and like they're great. I use them.
Feels weird for a glass of water.
I switched and got coffee. Iced coffee.
Feels weirder for coffee.
Does it?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm excited to drink things because then I just associate that drink with a good time. So even if it's iced coffee, I'm like pumped. I'm pumped about it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just am so thrown off by the whole Solo cup thing that I don't know if I'm following any of this. So
hey guys, welcome to the Almost On Air podcast. That's Erica. I'm Jon, and we got an exciting show for you today. Yeah, I told you. I got you. And today we got a bunch of things to go into, but first and foremost, I feel like half the country is freezing right now.
Yeah.
So, you know, for those of you that know, I'm sure you've heard about a little bit of what's going on in Texas, but apparently like a bunch of polar bears are pissed off or whatever. And
is
there's
that...
just been, I think that's it. I feel like we're ruining the Arctic environment and like all the Coca-Cola polar bears are like pissed off.
Yeah.
So they like hit up Elsa from Disney or whatever. Anyways, so there's a huge storm that hit and you were somewhat affected because you were recently in Nashville, right?
Yeah. I am lucky. There was only like one point where I was like, am I safe? Right? Like I was mostly safe. I knew I'd be okay. It was just, I was supposed to get home on Monday and I got home last night on Thursday night.
Yikes.
So that is a thing. There's obviously people who are far worse off right now. And we're going to talk to one of our listeners, Morgan, who lives in Texas. But it was crazy. Jon saw me cry this week on Zoom. So,
I mean, that's not really saying much, to be honest. I feel like I often
it is. I haven't cried on Zoom in a long time.
Not on Zoom.
Yeah.
Mostly when you're crying, I get the I'm about to cry right now DM.
Right. Right. Exactly. Yeah. But no, it was like fully there. It was Tuesday. I got to the airport. My flight got canceled as I got to the airport. And they had canceled everything. Nothing else was leaving Nashville that day. My flight the day before had already been canceled.
So,
and yeah,
walk me through the minute where you were like, I'm not going to be able to get home. Like, did you go all the way to the airport? Did you see the storm coming in and then things started to come in little by little or what happened?
Okay, yeah. So let me rewind to Sunday. On Sunday, we woke up in Nashville. I had been there all weekend. It was super great. I got to catch up. I was staying with my best friend and her fiance. And that was really fun. They just bought a house. It was so great. We had beers. We had fun.
Nice.
And I saw a handful, like 3 other friends from college, you know, COVID safe and everything. And then Sunday we wake up and it's icy. It's the roads are just lightly icy. It's not super safe to drive, but we had a wedding that night. So there was a moment where I was like, oh my God, I flew all the way out here and I'm not going to be able to go to this wedding.
So you've lived in Nashville before, correct?
Correct. I lived in Nashville 2011 to 2015.
Is it strange to see ice on the roads like that? Like, do they get a bunch of snow? Is that a thing?
They do not get a lot of snow. And the last time they had an ice storm was actually my senior year. And what's crazy is while I was in Nashville, a thing came up on Facebook that said 6 years ago today. And it was that last ice storm.
No.
So, yeah, it's not common. That was the last big one they had. But they're just not equipped. Like the roads get covered in ice versus snow, which is really dangerous.
Right. Because you can't really see it sometimes, right?
Yes, exactly. The black ice thing. So we did end up making it to that wedding, but we had to leave literally at like 7 p.m. before it got even worse so that we could get home safely. So it was a bummer, but, I got to see one of my best friends get married. It was still beautiful. It was fun. And honestly made it way more COVID safe because we kind of popped in, said hi, had a couple drinks, and then left.
Nice.
We had dinner as well at the wedding. But then Monday morning, I just want to give everyone all the info.
Didn't have dinner. I was like,
we ate. Don't worry. I still guzzled a lot of wine. Monday morning we wake up, everything's white, and it was not just snow. It was like literal sleet. So it was like balls of ice coming from the ground, different than hail.
That's so wild to me.
And it all just froze on the roads. So my flight got canceled. There was no way I was leaving Monday. Tuesday morning, my flight was supposed to be at 7 a.m. And I wake up at like 5:30. I start requesting Uber and Lyft. There's nothing out there. Then my flight gets delayed to 10. So I just keep requesting. Starting at 5:30, I do not stop.
So what's the walk if you wanted to walk it?
No, it's like 30. I was a 30-minute drive from the airport.
Yeah. So yeah, like a long time.
Yeah.
Nice.
Keep requesting. Nothing. My flight got delayed to noon, and I finally at like 10:15 got a Lyft. So I got in the car. I was like, get me to this airport. Even if I get delayed more, I'll be there.
Dude, shout out to this Lyft driver.
He was like, you're my first drive of the day. Also, it was a horrifying drive. I was so scared. And as we got off the exit to the airport, it was covered in ice. It was really scary. That was the moment of like, sorry, my phone is shaking around, so my camera's bouncing. That was the moment of like, I'm not super okay. Right. And that was scary. So I got to the airport. Literally, I get out of the car. I get a notification on my phone. Your flight's been canceled. So then I'm like, okay, just walk into the airport and get it rescheduled. And they tell me, oh, yeah, we can get you to LA on Thursday. And I'm like, that means basically where I was at was I didn't want to get back on the roads because the roads were that bad. Mm-hmm. So I was trying to like figure out what my options were. You know, you go through that moment of like, wait, what do I do?
Right.
I decided to get a hotel. Well, no, first I said, where can you get me to tomorrow? Could you get me to Phoenix? Because my mom's in Phoenix. And they said, yes. So they got me on a flight on Wednesday. I had to fly from Nashville to Atlanta to Phoenix. And then I booked my own flight separately from Phoenix to LA on Thursday. And then I ended up getting a hotel with like a free shuttle. From LA. What?
I'm not really familiar with storms being able to actually influence your day. You know, like we've never had like a snow day. We've never had things canceled. Nope. Like the closest thing I can think of is I used to ride a motorcycle, and on rainy days, if I was somewhere, I'd have to be extra careful going home. Yes. But like that's not even a storm fault. You know, like nothing here is that serious.
Yeah. It was scary. And so then also the hotels right by the airport were like smaller hotels that didn't have restaurants. So because of COVID, they couldn't even like have dining. So I really had a moment where I was like, I'm not going to be able to eat today. I hadn't eaten a thing. It was almost 2 p.m. And I was like, I'm not going to eat food today. I'm going to have to try to go to sleep in this hotel. I ended up walking to a freaking McDonald's. But it was like 16 degrees outside. The walk was all icy, so I had to go really slow. It was very stressful. But I'm fine. I ended up making it.
Good to know.
Yeah.
I have wondered how people are that were in more seriously affected areas. And before we continue, did you know that the Almost On Air podcast is worldwide? Did you know that?
Yes, I did know
we
that.
have listeners all around the globe. If you didn't know, this is a fun fact here.
Mostly in North America, but
that's an irrelevant detail to me.
Sure.
Worldwide is worldwide, you know?
Sure.
We got a listener in Canada. What's up? We have
Yes.
apparently a listener in Ethiopia, which I'm convinced is like a VPN jumping around.
Yeah.
However, we have a listener that we know of in Texas, and I'm sure we have a few. But
can you see that she's in the waiting room right now?
I can, yeah.
Okay, good.
So we're really pumped to have her. As soon as I heard that this was all going on in Texas, she's someone who's like been a listener of the show since the very first day we started.
Yeah.
Like day one. So I reached out, I DM'd her, I checked on her, and she's doing well, and I was kind of looking for a firsthand account, so we invited her into our podcast today.
I think she just left the wait room.
No.
Oh, there she is. She's back. Okay, nice. Sorry. Yes, so this is Morgan. You want me to let her in?
Yeah, let her all in.
Okay.
So we'd like to welcome Morgan here at Molo on Instagram.
I was going to say who we called Molo, but her name's Morgan. She's connecting to audio.
We do call a lot of people by their Instagram handles
because that's just how we know you.
Yeah, that's how we interact. You can call me Kamuchi. I'm cool with it.
Yeah, she's still connecting to audio. Maybe she can hear us. I don't know.
Oh, she might be able to.
Unclear.
I think she's zooming in from her phone right now from I don't know where specifically in Texas, but we're about to find out.
Molo, your camera's not on.
Oh, yeah.
Hi.
So welcome, Morgan.
Oh my God.
What's up?
I'm so excited to do that.
So Morgan, we were just talking about, I had been in Nashville and I got stuck, but I'm good and home. Where in Texas are you?
I am in Dallas, and I live in Fort Worth, which they're like next to each other.
Okay.
You're in like one of the ground zero spots, so to speak, right?
Ground zero.
Ground zero. So from my understanding, Texas runs on its own power grid, right? So when all of this happened, Texas is not necessarily used to this kind of weather. So it caused a buckle in that power grid. And so a lot of the state is without power. Is that right?
Yeah. I didn't know that we were on our own power grid. I wish I knew more about that stuff, but no, they started rolling our power, which means they'll give like one neighborhood of power and then the next neighborhood of power. But if you're on like essential grid, which means you're like next to a hospital, basically, they'll never turn your power off.
So are you zooming us from your car right now because you don't have power in your home?
Yeah, I ran out. My water busted yesterday, so I have power, but our water's unclean and we have to boil it.
Okay.
And all the water at the stores are sold out. So I'm trying to find water.
This legit sounds like a natural disaster type situation.
It is.
I know. And I was like not prepared for that. Everyone was talking about it on Sunday and I was like, it's fine.
I mean, because you've never been through it. So why would you be prepared for it?
Yeah. I got work canceled and I was like, oh, party time. Like, me and all my friends don't have work. This is awesome.
Nice.
And now I'm like, oh my gosh, I just had a shower for the first time in like 4 days.
Oh my gosh.
So it's literally so cold that the water pipes are bursting because the water's freezing inside them.
Okay. I don't actually know. I just heard a major line in Fort Worth went out. And then apartment complexes like mine, like, yeah, pipes are just bursting and then you have to turn the water off. And then it's like freezing garages and like everyone's car's stuck. It's like madness.
And they're asking you to boil the water because that eliminates some of the bacteria that might be in it because it's
so that you can
kind of contaminated, right?
Yeah. Yeah. My friend works at a restaurant and she said one of the kitchens is just boiling water so they can serve it and cook with it.
My God. That's insane. So when the storm starts coming in, like, did you expect any of this or did you just think it was another storm?
She just said party time.
Oh. Yeah. I was like, oh, I'll get delayed to work. Cool. Like, I'm going to have so much fun. You know, we bought some frozen pizzas and called it a day.
Yes. I have when I lived in Nashville before, this was exactly what happened my senior year and it was nowhere near this bad. So like, I remember that like, oh my God, let's stock up on beer and pizza and we'll be good. You guys just have had it much more extreme. Are the roads safe right now?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
My roads are fine. I was going to show y'all.
A good sign.
See,
okay.
I got frozen today though, or like I was driving on ice and I didn't realize it and I was going slow and then my wheels started turning. And so I had to get out and like push my car.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well,
I was like, oh, because it looks sunny. Like it's warming up today. I think we're at the end of it.
Yeah.
Thank
God. At nighttime, are you just roaming around your house in the dark? Like, do you have a bunch of blankets going on? Are you freezing? Like, what is night like?
Tons of blankets. Power? You're trying to like, I've never been without power at night. So, but you're trying to conserve power. So everyone's setting their house to like 64, 65. So that not, you know, a blackout doesn't happen. And then you're putting towels like on your windows to make sure, because our windows aren't good. They're not made to keep a ton of cold out. It's like pathetic.
Wow.
But no, it's been good. Like I think they've like sent out like helpful tips to people, like things we never think about because we all lived in Texas for forever.
Yeah, like I can't imagine needing to prep for that, you know?
John was just saying, he's like, I've never been in like an actual storm where I had to do anything other than not ride my motorcycle. Yeah. So
yeah, I know, because y'all are in California. So I'm like, I bet y'all are like used to the same conditions we are.
I mean, it's just hot like all the time. And
like sometimes we get some rain.
Yeah.
For real.
Crazy.
You just like can't walk barefoot on the cement. That's like the best you got, you know? So I watched this TikTok and it's like one that's been going around Twitter. And it was one where someone had a fish in a tank and the entire fish tank froze.
No.
Yeah.
It blew my mind.
Dude,
did it kill the fish?
Birds have been freezing like in the trees and falling down dead.
Oh my God.
God,
like
horrifying.
My friends have sent me so many Snapchats of just dead dove. Like it's kind of sad. Like
so I'm wondering about this fish. Like if this fish is frozen, when it thaws? Is it still alive? Is it like Captain America where it just like
Probably
frozen
not.
in place and it's like chilling afterwards?
This isn't a Marvel movie.
I mean,
this is real life.
Be.
Hey,
aren't they? Is it in Texas that they're also having to save all the sea turtles? Or is that not in Texas? Somewhere it's so cold that the turtles can't move around in the water because it's so cold. So they're like having to save them.
Molo, you don't have your sea turtle notification news
my bad.
in your phone?
Sorry, I don't know why I even know that.
Ocean, so I don't know anything about sea turtles.
So what do you do?
I do know that ducks are like freezing in the ponds, and it's sad.
Oh my God.
I can't handle this.
I know.
What are you doing during the day? Like, are you still hanging out with friends? Are you trying to work? Like, what's the day like?
So I was working yesterday, and then I went up to my office to grab something, and my office was flooded. And so I like unplugged people's computers because they're like sitting in water. And I was like, are you kidding me? And but we got that under control. And then I told my boss, she lives in Atlanta. I was like, I'm done signing out. I'm done. I'll talk to you next week.
Yeah.
My water is out again. But I would say most people are like trying to work, but everyone's understanding and like, hey, you got to live. Go find power and water.
Yeah, for people without power, then you don't have Wi-Fi. So then how are you necessarily working? And
yeah, like everyone's going into restaurants or bars that were open the past couple of days and just plugging stuff in, like trying to get their phone to charge, so they can call someone.
So there are some places that are trying to stay open for food and stuff like that.
I would say like one place I knew it was open Monday, 2 places Tuesday, and then like a few more Wednesday. But if their power's out and their Wi-Fi's out, like they're done.
Right. Holy cow. Well, I'm glad to hear it's warming up. It looks sunny, so it's a good sign.
Yeah.
But
I think today is going to be great.
How cold is it right now?
36.
Okay, it's above freezing.
Yeah, I know.
Did you check that or did you just feel it outside?
Yeah, I know.
I'm not feel it. It's on her car.
Yeah, that's about 36.
No.
Oh yeah, it's on my car.
Yeah, come on, Jon.
What has been the hardest moment so far? Like, what has been the hardest part of your entire week that was the worst for you specifically through all of this?
So I was staying with my boyfriend and his water went out. So I went and met my cousin, and like as we met up with him, he's like, my water's out. It just busted. But like without a hot shower is fine, but I was like, where do I go to the bathroom? Like,
yeah.
Oh my God.
What are we doing?
Right.
And that was like panic mode.
Right. You're like, I can get by without a shower, but like drinking water and using the bathroom is when you're like,
yeah. And like, I just started dating this guy kind of, or like we talked for a while and I stay with him for a week without water. Like that's not fun. There's like one toilet and you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, no. Level. That is you guys are welcome to your very serious relationship now. Yeah. Can I ask a question? Is this the guy that asked you out on a first date to Applebee's?
No, I never went on that one.
Okay,
that
okay.
One, tragic.
That one,
tragic.
No go. No, this is a guy that I met and we hung out and I immediately was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna date him.
We love him.
And then he's like, I don't want a girlfriend, and we did this whole back and forth thing.
And then
you played the long game. You played the long game. Sometimes you got to do it.
Yeah, played the long game. We'd hang out.
How long of the game did you play?
Like we hung out for the first time on May 10th, and we started dating like 3 weeks ago.
Okay, it was a long game.
Yeah, so we hung out like once every 2 weeks, and then kind of once a week, and then it would be kind of like more and less, and then by like Christmas, I was like, hey, I don't want to see anyone else, and he's like, okay.
Wow.
Does he live close?
I won't see anyone else, but like I don't want to date, and I'm like, but we are dating.
Yeah, I mean, at some point you're just like, that's what it is. So
yeah.
What was your question, Jon?
Does he live close?
Yeah, so he lives in Dallas and I live in Fort Worth, so we're like 35-40 minutes away.
So are you getting information on when things are supposed to be back online, or like do you know when an end is in sight at all? What do you know? How are you hearing it?
I mean, no, because
nothing.
You look at the news and it's like kind of depressing and like all these bad things are happening. Like y'all asked me to be on this podcast. So I was like, oh, I should read up. And then I was like, no, I'm getting sad.
You're like, never mind. This is awful. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like ignorance is bliss. I just know like we keep track of my apartment and then my friends' apartments, where we take shelter if something goes bad.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. So you have like a B plan.
Yeah, and it's like, hey, you got water?
Hey, can I come use the restroom? Thanks so much. Yeah.
Do you have a water filter? People were trying to filter out like snow water, and it's like disgusting.
Yeah, no. That's that whole thing dirt. About like don't eat an icicle.
I'd try it.
Yeah.
How bad could it be?
Awful. There's bird poop in it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, the birds are frozen, so like probably less of that right now.
I ate snow off the ground because it was so white. And then I saw pictures of like melted snow, and I was like, that might not have been the best idea.
Right.
Although I want to give you a shout out. When I was going to reach out to you, I noticed in your bio, and this is the first time I've even seen it. I don't even know if you've had it this whole time, but in your bio, the first line says, self-proclaimed #1 fan of the Almost On Air podcast. And I was just like, dude, you
like we need to get you a t-shirt with that.
Yeah. Right? Like I remember the very first day we made our Instagram when we were coming up with this podcast, and I literally remember seeing you, and you know, I didn't know you at the time. You know what I mean? So like, thank you for being with us through this whole long process. And
oh, of course. I feel like y'all are my friends. Like,
we feel like that too.
Totally.
Yeah. I'm like, they're my age. They get it. I totally relate on the whole like dating, not dating. And I'm like, if I lived in like California, like we would be friends.
Absolutely. 100%. And you also Erica, wouldn't be frozen.
I know, right? I would not be frozen.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. Could be on fire.
It's melting. Though. I think everyone's good now. I just don't look at anything bad.
Good.
It's like the pandemic. Like the first 2 weeks, you're having fun, drinking beer, doing Zoom calls.
And then reality.
And then by like week 3 or 4, you're like, I'm over it.
Totally. Totally.
Day 3, I was like, I'm done. I can't drink more alcohol.
Yeah.
I'm tired of watching Netflix. I'm tired of freezing.
Of course. Well, I hope that by the end of this weekend, you can start to maybe get life back to normal. I don't know.
Yeah, shoot us an update as soon as you get back to somewhat normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, liquor stores are open today, so
this is a good sign.
Looking up.
Yeah, we'll take a shot together.
Drink.
That was days ago. That was days ago. You're a new person now. All right. Well, stay safe. At the end of this podcast, we're going to plug some places for people listening to like go donate or go help. So I know you're okay, but
I thought about looking that up and then I was like, nah.
Don't worry. We got you. We got you. We know you're okay, but we're going to help
we prep a little bit more this season.
Yeah.
Just a little
bit. Wow. Yeah. Texas is warming up. So y'all stay safe and stay warm.
We will be okay. What?
I'm glad that you made it all the way from Nashville.
I was just explaining that. Yeah, it was a journey, but I'm good. We're good. So it's okay.
Good.
But yeah. All right. Well, we'll talk to you soon. Go find some water.
Going all the way out to your car for us. We appreciate
it. Anytime. I'll see y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.
I love her.
I love her too.
She's so great.
So yeah, if you have friends or friends with family in Texas, just shoot them a text. Make sure everyone's okay.
Yeah, make sure they got water.
Yeah, that's the scary thing.
Peeing, you know?
I mean, not even the peeing, but like, what is she drinking?
I mean, alcohol, apparently.
Yeah, but that just makes you more thirsty. So, you know. There's one other thing that we have to get into today because Jon has been blowing me up all week. And I'm sometimes I think that when Jon's really excited about something, I discredit it. So
you would not be the only one, to be honest.
Yes, I want you to take this time to make your case on Clubhouse.
So I understand. I like when I get excited about something, like I'm in it. You know what I mean? Like I get it in all the way. I go through phases and I'm about it. I feel like that's the fun of it. You get it in
all the way?
I mean, you know, I feel like especially when like the GameStop stock was happening, like I was in, you know, like not really, but like kind of. And I just feel like it's okay to get carried away with things. But I feel like this one, we've hit a gold mine.
Sure.
Are you tired? Have you been getting sleep this week?
No, I just told you like I've been in 4 states.
Well, good.
I was in 4 states in 2 days.
Well, for different reasons. I have been up until late hours of the night on this new Clubhouse app. I don't know if you've heard about it listening, but it's this new app that's taken off right now. Okay. And it's called Clubhouse. And I've been on it. And let me tell you something. It is hard for me to stay up past my bedtime. Like it's so hard.
You wake up early.
I wake up early. Nothing to me is really worth it. I don't even go out on weeknights anymore because it's just not worth it.
Where would you be going?
I mean,
I forget that things are open near you.
But even like before COVID, I stopped going out on weeknights simply because it's just not worth it anymore. Like I really do value my sleep.
You used to wake up at like 4 a.m.
Also, that was terrible. But these days I can't help it because I'm so sucked into this Clubhouse app. So it's officially like an audio social app is what they call it. So it's basically like a social platform that's entirely based on audio. I personally would describe it as like an unfiltered live podcast. It's like a podcast meets a phone call meets like a group panel.
But with people that you don't know.
With people that you don't know, which in my opinion is the best part. So first I'll explain how it works. And then I'll tell you why I think it's such a benefit right now. Because if you're listening right now it's invite only. But if you can get an invite, I would jump on it because it's so interesting. So the way it works is there are different rooms you can go into. And the way I like to imagine it is that it's like being at a panel. Like let's say you're going to Comic-Con or some kind of event where like all the actors of your favorite show were on stage.
Different rooms for each. Let's just call it Comic-Con, right? So you're at Comic-Con and there's different rooms for each of what would be the panels or the shows. Okay.
That's exactly right. So let's say you were interested in the new Black Panther movie and there was going to be a panel with all the cast of the Black Panther talking about all the new Black Panther facts, right?
Okay.
So you'd go into this room where they were hosting a panel.
And you could listen.
And you can listen. So there are two places to be. You could either be on stage, which is where the panel's taking place. And any of those people can talk at any time. And then in the audience, you can't talk, but you are listening the entire time. But the cool part is some of the moderators on the stage can bring people from the audience onto the stage. For example, like if you were in the audience at a panel, they'd give you the mic and you can ask the panel a question.
Sure.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So this is how it works. The cool part is there could be big rooms where there's a small panel on the stage and thousands of people in the audience listening. Or it could be a much smaller room where everyone's on the stage. Like maybe it's like more of a networking social event and you can all be on the stage. Maybe the room has 9 to 12 people in it, sometimes even smaller.
Sure.
And it's kind of like a free-for-all conversation type thing. So you push to talk, there's no video, and it's all audio. So this is what's been really cool about it, okay? So like the other night, it could be something that's in your industry. It could be just something you're interested in learning about. For example, the other night, I was in this room with probably like 5,000 people in it. And it was literally about FBI interrogation methods. And like, you're just listening to the different ways that like people get interrogated.
Okay.
So cool. Okay.
Is it so cool?
No, it's so cool. It's like whatever you're interested in, there are like things for it.
Sure.
I was in one last night.
There's Taylor Swift rooms?
I'm sure there will be.
Okay.
If there hasn't been already.
Cool.
So there was a room I was in last night that was called The Future of Live Music. And all the people on the panel were executives at Live Nation or people who own venues and stuff like that. And they're literally giving you the update on what's going on this week. You know what I mean? Like all the news that they know, when they expect live concerts to happen, the problems they're running into, and they host that room once a week. So you can just go in and listen and find out what the deal is on live music.
And get like updated on where they're at, what they're booking, what they're okay with, how it's going to work.
Exactly. And if you have some questions, you can raise your hand. They can bring you onto the stage and it's very like interactive in that way. Or you can go somewhere completely opposite. There was also one I ran into last night. The room was just called Why So Single? And people would take turns going on the stage.
Don't ask me.
Sharing why they're single. And it was like kind of funny, you know, not that serious.
There
was one
funny.
where people just will bring you on stage and they'll just roast your Instagram. So like that's kind of fun too.
I would not be able to go in there. I'd be too scared.
It was so good. It was.
So you're saying it's like all the different rooms are basically a podcast. Some of them are weekly. Some of them are daily, I'm sure.
Some of them are just.
But the difference is they could do what we just did with Morgan.
Exactly. If they're like, hey, we're going to talk about what's going on in Texas. Yeah.
Okay.
And if you were interested in doing that, I was into one about where podcasting is and different ways to like expand your podcast brand. So I'm like learning from people there. There are a lot of brand managers on there. So like the other cool part is you can connect with people that are in your industry. So I was like talking to other podcasters, people who had podcasts, people who promoted podcasts, and they're kind of giving each other tips. You're helping each other out. And as you're making these connections, you can add them as friends, you know? So then you're talking to them in rooms. And then sometimes like you're in a small room. The small rooms are my favorite because then you're talking about things for a while and then it gets small and like you've been in there for a couple hours. And then you just like start talking about whatever, and you actually just build.
A couple hours.
Yeah, I was in one room for 4 hours last night until 3 in the morning. It was amazing.
See, I don't have time. I don't know how you have time for this. That's what I'm confused by.
I don't.
Yeah, I guess that's why you're up till 3 a.m.
Yeah,
so I'm like,
I for sure
why
don't.
is it worth it for me? What makes it worth it if I don't have the time?
For me, I also have it on in the background throughout my day, which is like kind of distracting
you don't
sometimes.
have to talk.
Oh my God, no. Most of the time you're in a big room and you're just listening anyway. And you're listening to people who are respectable in the industry usually, or some people who are very curious or asking questions that you may have. So whatever your personal goals are, if you're using it in a professional way, people could ask those same questions. So like I'm listening to a bunch of the podcast ones. I want to know like how people brand their podcasts, like what they're about.
Great.
Because I think it'd be interesting for us.
Yeah.
And at the same time, if you just want to go in there and like talk about a new album, you know what I mean? Or like listen to people talking about whatever's going on social media. Like there are more fun rooms that are strictly social. Like why men are trash. You know what I mean? Like you could go into a room like that.
I could start that.
And just like listen. And it honestly is so much fun. And then you start building these connections. And this is the reason that I think it matters is right now during COVID, especially you and I, we used to work in a place where we were connecting with other entertainment people often.
Every day. Yeah.
Every day. We were in the building of iHeartMedia in Los Angeles. There are people coming in and out there all the time. You're meeting people. We're working these big shows. And now with COVID, when's the last time you met someone new in your industry? Last March?
To be fair, I actually have connected with some people on social throughout this pandemic. And I think that's just like mutual friends in the industry. But you're right.
And that's
generally,
what I mean.
The difference is, and I guess this Clubhouse would be the same thing, is the difference is that I've, during the pandemic, connected with people all over the country versus just locally.
Right.
So
and a lot of these people are locally because so many people live in LA. But a lot of these people are also nationally based. So they're all around the country and you're just meeting people that you would never have run into before.
Yeah.
And no one's really got an ego. You can run into someone who's maybe got a super successful podcast and they're talking to everyone in the room. Like there's no status necessarily. Like everyone's really trying to boost each other up. And it's like a really cool place to be. I feel like I've learned so much, even if it's not even about podcasting. Like sometimes I'm in a room and we're learning about space. Like we just landed on Mars yesterday and I was in this room, like learning all these space facts. And I was like, dude, this is so sick. Like
I admire this quality in you that you like want to take the time to learn these things and you really like dedicate the time to being like, yeah, I'm going to go into the room about podcasting. I don't know if this app is for me. I just feel like my brain is so full. It's so hard for me to even get the things done in the day that I'm trying to get done. So I'm like, although I have gotten into listening to many more podcasts, so maybe I'll give it a try for you.
It's the same thing, essentially, you know?
Right. But I've got to do that like really on the weekends is when I have the time to do that. So I'll try it out this weekend.
See, and that's where I think I will not be on it on the weekends. Because those are my times I'm like trying to do actual other things, you know?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. This weekend I'm packing my room up, so I'll have a lot of time to listen to things.
Nice.
Yeah, but I will give it a try for you. Yeah. I have an invite. I just need to go back and use it.
Perfect.
And if I become obsessed, I owe you $1.
$1.50.
Deal.
Nice. I'll take it. Should we move into our main topic?
Yeah, we should get to our main topic. And you know what's hilarious is this topic is so you and I because it really is the difference and the things we don't understand about the opposite sex. And I feel like every time you and I go into talking about anything, we have opposite opinions on it.
I would agree. And I think we are somewhat of the stereotype of our genders to a degree.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're very girly. I live in a house with 5 guys. Like I get men's basic stereotypes, I think. And although I'm not like the most sports guy or whatever, and I'm still like.
But you live with one of every kind.
Yes, exactly. I think I'm well versed in my dude realm here.
You are.
Nice.
So we asked you guys, 2 main questions. Things men don't understand about women. And then we also asked things women don't understand about men. So Jon, I'm going to read the things women don't understand about men. And I want you to try and defend them or explain them, and then we'll go vice versa.
I don't have to try. It will be so easy.
Okay. So, and the women don't understand about men, a lot of answers came in. First of all, my mother said there's not enough space in this question box. So
she's not wrong, but I did find it funny that we got an overwhelmingly larger number of female responses than men. And I feel very attacked. I'm not even gonna lie.
I think we have more female followers.
And also that is the case, which I will also use as an argument in a little bit when it comes to the polls that we took.
Okay, yes. I saw that too. Cool. But then Kayla says, why does every man refer to their other man friend as buddy? Is this just in the Midwest?
Okay, this is definitely not just in the Midwest. All right. And I've actually put a lot of thought into this because when I say it out to myself out loud, it does sound a little bit abnormal. You know what I mean? It does. But then like when I start to put thoughts in it, this is why. Okay. everyone could be your friend. Anyone could be a friend of yours. If you're like, oh, my friend Tom, like it could be a guy that you are a moderate acquaintance with. But my buddy Tom means it's someone you actually hang out with. Like you choose to hang out with. And give me another word for that. That sounds cool.
Do you think that your buddy is my version of saying like my best friend? Because I call a lot of people my best friend.
Maybe, but I still think that's not the same because I also have some that I would categorize as my tier 1 friends, which I would say best friends. Okay. I have like 3 tiers of friends. There's like right. Friends,
so girls don't have the equivalent of buddy then.
Girlfriend, I think. But even then, it's like not close enough.
I don't,
it's not
I don't
in
say
that
like, oh, my girlfriend Hannah. Like,
yeah. Best friend is tier 1. I think buddy is tier 2. And tier 3 would be friend.
Okay, but what about your girlfriends that you're close with? I'm not your buddy.
No,
I mean, I kind of am.
No, but it's a dude. I mean,
okay.
See, and I feel like homie is a little too aggressive sometimes.
It's like trying really hard.
Like one of my homies. Like I do say that, but like buddy is more casual. Like give me a better word.
Okay, you're right.
It's a tier 2 friend is a buddy. Actually, I would say tier 2 and up.
Sarah wants to know, and I think every woman in the world wants to know, why men spend like 25 to longer minutes to take a poop. What's happening? Is it taking that long?
This is such a good question.
What are you doing in there?
There are so many answers to this question. Okay, there are so many. Okay. And I even texted some of my buddies about this. What's up? Because I just wanted to make sure that I was really getting an understanding of like what our position is on time pooping.
No, but literally my question is like, is it because of anatomy?
In part, I will say yes.
Oh my God. Okay.
Not always, but in part. The bathroom is like a sanctuary time for a dude. Like it is the uninterrupted break from your day that you need to keep your mind sane sometimes. Okay. We use it sometimes for social media. Maybe it's our texts back. Maybe we're scrolling through Twitter, whatever it is. It's an uninterrupted
your text
time.
Back?
Yeah.
You're telling me that if you text me, it could be from the toilet?
Erica, I will promise you, I have texted you from the toilet before.
That's disgusting. I'm probably like, okay, yeah.
It's the honest truth, dude. See, I know you're thinking something too, if you just don't want to say it. I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna be honest here. I've texted you while pooping. I've done it.
Great. I feel honored.
It is uninterrupted in a level that is unmatched. For example, if you're outside, if you're in your bedroom, even in your bedroom, you can be interrupted. People can walk in. People can say what's up. People can need you for something. When you're in that bathroom, no one is walking in on you. That is you time. You take your time in there, and that's going to be uninterrupted. No one's going to bother you, and you can do whatever you need. Whatever you feel you need to do.
I just feel like there have been times when I've been with ex-boyfriends. It's just been the two of us at home, and they still we're sitting there watching TV, not even speaking, and they still take so long to go to the bathroom.
I do think there is a too long. I do think there's a too long. I have a roommate that I think spends too long in the bathroom, and that's coming from a fellow dude. Because there comes a point where when I'm done, I want to be done. Like I don't like sitting in there basking in whatever,
Nope. I want to die right now, just so you know. Yeah.
I would like to leave.
So do you think that 30 minutes is the time limit?
Oh, I think 30 is probably too much.
Okay.
30 is a lot, dude. You know how long 30 minutes is?
Yes,
I do. Long time.
Because I've sat and waited.
Yeah.
So
30 is a little much. I'd give it like 15.
Men take a lot longer than that. You're quick, man.
Also, my friend, he likes to mention that he wants to make sure that he's done. And I think that is a very true, valid, and great point.
Sure. Is this a roommate of yours?
Actually, this one, no.
Okay, that makes me feel
I texted some of
better.
my friends because I wanted to make sure when it comes to a lot of these answers that I'm not just speaking for myself, and I'm trying to get a bigger picture dude answer for a lot of these. And I think that's a good answer.
For the sake of time, I'm going to just choose it like 2 more. Okay. But Grace said, why do they mask their feelings? And I have to agree. It's either they mask their positive feelings for someone. They mask when they need to talk about something. They mask when they are upset and they want you to figure it out. Please elaborate.
Okay, that last one I will probably send right back at you in the female section.
Probably.
I probably will. But I think it's because if we're just giving real answers here, I think men usually as they're growing up are taught that like a lot of those feelings are not okay to show to an extent.
Okay.
You know? Like if you were working with a guy who cried at work every day.
Every day, anyone who's crying at work every day is concerning.
Agreed. But let's say once a week, you know, like, is it okay, objectively speaking? Absolutely. But are you going to have some subconscious biases about someone who is maybe crying at work once a week? If it's a guy, I feel like girls get a pass to cry at work, but guys, like, I feel like don't. They should, but they don't.
I would be, if you started crying on a Zoom call like I did earlier this week, I would be really, really, really worried.
Exactly.
Versus, I think you guys were worried, like, is she okay safety wise? But like, I would be like, is he okay mentally?
And is that because guys are not expected to cry, or is that because I don't cry in front of people? So you would think that it must be a severe circumstance.
Not many guys cry regularly in front of people.
I agree.
So.
And I think that's just the expectations that life puts on you. You know, like you just gotta wear it.
Yeah.
Is it right? Probably not. And that's why it's hard. Is like there are some times where guys have to wear their feelings in some areas, and it's hard to differentiate when we're supposed to and when we're not. Like once you get in default mode of trying to mask a lot of these feelings to make sure that you're strong enough mentally,
it's hard to then take it down.
Exactly. It bleeds over into some areas where perhaps it would be more beneficial for us to be able to feel and kind of express some of those emotions.
Okay. I mean, I understand the explanation of it. I just still wish that who cares? And can we just get on with showing our feelings?
I actually agree with you. I really do actually agree.
And I think we're making slow steps towards that as like a society.
I think so too.
This one's funny. Kim says, how come when we text a guy about multiple things, he just responds to the very last thing we mentioned?
I'm so guilty of this. I am so guilty of this. And
yes,
it's because
every man.
Yeah, I would say. And it's because like the last one's usually the most important.
No, that's not true.
Like we're not trying to respond to everything all the time. Like sometimes I just want to get through a text, and maybe the first part's a response to something. I feel like I prioritize. I go through and I find out which areas we can cut. Because if you respond to everything all the time, you're going to create this very long text.
Jon, if someone's saying anything, it probably requires a response.
I disagree.
Unless it's like, haha. You don't have to be like, haha back. But like, if someone says like, hey, I was wondering what you're doing this weekend. Also, can we go to the store later? And by the way, I need to make sure that I buy the new Taylor Swift album.
Oh my God. Are you trying to overwhelm me? How many things are you going to ask me? That's a lot to process. I'm going through my day. Why don't you ask me those 3 things separately?
What if I need answers to them quickly, or I'm not going to be at my phone for the next hour? So if you can just answer all of them, that'd be awesome.
So if you're going to communicate all of those questions in one text, you should also be able to communicate that you need an answer right now too, you know?
Okay.
I feel like that's just a lot. Like, you know?
Yeah, I guess. This last one is very simple, but we need to know the answer. Sophia wants to know, why do they leave their socks everywhere?
Short answer, I think we're very one-track minded. I feel like there's...
Which I think also applies to the last one.
Yeah, I feel like we're very focused in what's in front of us. We're not usually overthinking about the things you think we're overthinking about. We usually have something separate on our mind, so it is very easy to miss things in front of us or miss texts that come in, you know, like we're very one-track minded. And also, I think parents should do a better job of forcing their sons to learn to clean, I think.
I do think that...
Or pick up after themselves.
Boy moms, I think it's a complicated thing. Often boy moms let their sons get away with a lot more than they let their daughters get away with.
It's a problem, dude. I mean, like I've lived in this house with my roommates for 2 years now, and I can tell you, I'm the only one that has cleaned our bathroom in those 2 years. No one else has done it, not once. And it's because my mom was such a cleaner, and she would make my sister and I learn all these things.
Good for her.
And she was very strict when it came to picking up after ourselves. And I think that benefited me because like the dudes are just like too scared to touch it, you know?
Yeah, I also think the more that moms teach the men how to clean, teach them how to kind of take care of a household, the better relationships they're set up for later in their life.
I think so too, because you're not expecting it. You're helping.
My thoughts on that. Yeah, I just sprinkled them on.
I enjoyed it.
Okay, you can pick some of these guy ones.
Nice. Let's go over to the things that men don't understand about women. The people that responded to us, at least. Bradley says, just like all of it, which I couldn't agree more, Bradley. Thank you.
We are so simple. We will communicate our needs. You just have to fulfill them.
Okay, dude. Wow.
Go ahead.
If
Continue.
you're Pinocchio right now, you would literally be stabbing me through the Zoom with your nose. 100%.
I truly believe that I communicate my needs and my wants very clearly. And
you can communicate them. Okay.
And men sometimes are so one-track minded that they can only hear one of the wants instead of the needs, and then they get all screwed up.
I would say it's simplified because you can communicate your needs, but if those needs are confusing, that doesn't really help. You know, it's like over communication sometimes.
Feed me, give me wine, love me, give me a hug. It's all good.
It's like, it's just not that simple, dude. It's so not. Okay, we're going to go into this.
Okay.
So first of all, Garrison says how women have the ability to see things in plain sight that men lack, but fail to see that the giant hairballs are left in the shower after they wash their hair.
Okay, look. I am guilty of shedding a lot.
Yeah.
And it's an actual problem for people in my life at times. Like, people get upset. And by people, I mean men in my life.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Because it's like they'll wake up and they're like, why? There's hair in my mouth. And like, how did it get there? I don't understand. It makes me sad that he says, see things in plain sight that men lack. Because that makes me feel like every woman kind of nags a man for what they're missing.
I mean, you know, when we leave our socks places, perhaps.
Right. But also I think he means like when you guys like don't nail like holidays and like don't pick up things as you're going up the stairs, like one of our other listeners mentioned. That's or fair. You know, stuff like that. So maybe collectively we can try to like nag on those things like a tiny bit less.
Hey, I like it. Okay. We're getting somewhere.
But you've got to try.
Nice.
You've got to try really hard, dudes. Because sometimes it's a lack of trying that feels personal to a woman and she will call you out on it. And also, I'm sorry, but we have a lot of hair and there's nothing we can do. What do you want? Does he want us to pick up the hairballs in the shower?
Literally, that's exactly it.
Gross. No, I don't want to do that.
What do you mean gross? Someone's got to pick it up.
What if it's you, though?
Sometimes I have to. My roommate's grown out his hair, and I'm not even going to lie. I wanted this to be a girl thing, but I'm not even going to lie. There are for sure hairballs in our shower. 100%. We have to like put the stopper over the drain because otherwise the hair will get in it and clog the whole thing. It's a thing.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Then you just pull them off there. Yeah, it's really gross. Okay, let's do the next one before I vomit.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, this was like such a basic one, but it's such a true one. Literally just tell us when you want to eat somewhere. It's not that hard. Why is it that hard? Thank you, Isaiah, for that comment. I could not agree more.
Isaiah, is that what you said? Isaiah?
Yep.
Isaiah, I don't know. I think there's a thing where girls really try hard to please the other people in their lives. And so if you're like, hey, where do you want to eat? We don't want to pick something that you don't want to eat. But at the same time, we don't want to eat something that we don't want to eat. And a lot of times men can get away with eating a lot unhealthier things than women. But if we pick like salads every time, that's really boring. Do you see what's happening in my head?
I will say, too, there was this comment in the men's section that we didn't get to, but it said, how come men can eat 0 veggies
and not mess up their stomach?
To which I would like to reply, we do spend a lot of time in the bathroom.
I was going to say, that's why they spend time in the bathroom.
I'm not going to lie. Like me and my roommates talk about it all the time. We eat a lot of spicy things, like a lot of buffalo.
And you're just constantly in pain.
And it's, like.
Yeah, see, that's probably why it's hard for women to decide what to eat, because like we really just want to eat something good and healthy. And like we know that you want to eat something that's just going to F you up.
Yeah, that's probably true.
So like it's different. If you're saying I'm picking up something separate for me and for you, decide different than if you pick for both of us.
I would love that. I'm a big fan of that. Okay. Next one from Christopher says, makeup. Many girls say makeup isn't even for men. It's mostly for other women. So why don't you all just collectively decide to stop caring so much about it?
I'm a makeup girl, so like I can talk to this. I don't give a hoot if a man cares what my makeup looks like. It's for me. I feel really good when I put on makeup. It also makes me feel like put together, ready for work, ready to do stuff. And it's fun.
Okay, so if you're spending the day inside watching Netflix all day, you're not going to leave your apartment. Are you going to do makeup?
No.
Why? If it's just for you and it makes you feel better.
Because I'm not even going to see myself either. And also, if I'm just laying around watching Netflix, I don't need to feel put together. But if I'm like getting on a work call with people that I don't see every day on work calls, I'll probably put on makeup because I feel ready to like be smart and like put on my thinking cap and
There was another one that's like kind of related, and I thought this was pretty good. It was from someone who wanted to be anonymous, but it says, why do women always preach about supporting and uplifting other women, but women are usually the most judgmental on other women as well?
Yeah, this is interesting. I think that this is similar to like men can't have emotions. I think a lot of this is changing, and I think women are actually doing their best to support other women. But
I agree with that.
Without like making this too political, like we've just been like shoved down since the beginning of time and very told like do what we say and look how we ask you to look and like don't talk and don't have an opinion. And so I think that sometimes women are uncomfortable with other women who have really strong opinions because it's been ingrained in them their entire lives that like we should kind of take the back seat. And that's where the judgmental comes from. Also, I think jealousy happens a lot with this is when you see someone getting the things that you want or the things that you're afraid to go for, you then in turn judge them when really you're jealous of them.
And I think that can be a human thing too, not necessarily just women.
I agree. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's hard to be a girl sometimes because you do have like a lot more emotions than guys.
Fair.
So then when you have a lot of girls in one place, there's going to be some people that just don't see eye to eye, and maybe that's where some of that comes from.
Hey, Michael wants to know, what's with the duck face? Why did that become a thing?
I don't know. I just did it. I forget people aren't always watching this. I don't know. I think it makes our faces look skinnier.
I mean, I guess you're sucking in your cheeks a little bit.
Yeah, sometimes I feel really pretty when I do it, but I don't think I post things looking like that anymore because it's so out. It's so 2014.
I don't think it is. No, I see it a lot.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like the duck face is still very popular. I don't hate it, but it's so consistent that it's like, I don't know why it's a thing. I don't think it's very flattering. I don't think it's bad, but like it's not changing.
I'm going to go ahead and say it's more out than it used to be.
Okay, that's fair. I'll give you that.
And I think it'll go away. It's a soft smile now.
I do love the soft smile.
I love a soft smile.
And last one here from Robert says, when asked what's wrong, why do women always say nothing when eventually you're going to admit it anyway? Dude, oh my God.
There is a time and place for every argument. And if you ask me what's wrong in the middle of a group thing, I'm probably not going to tell you.
But could you tell me, I'll tell you later, as opposed to the answer, nothing?
Sure. I don't know if I'm a nothing girl. So this is hard for me to answer. I'm super, you know me. I'm like super like, here are my emotions. Here's how I feel.
That's
true. So I don't think I'm the best person to answer this, but I do think that a lot of times it's that we don't feel comfortable expressing it. We don't feel like you're going to take it the right way.
Okay.
No offense. But I think often, you know, like if the issue is between a couple and the guy says what's wrong and the girl says nothing, it's because she doesn't want to get into it or she doesn't think that saying it will solve it.
I hear that. And that's definitely a good point. I could absolutely see that that's why. There are just some times, though, when you say nothing and it's like, I'm not an idiot. Like, I'm looking at you. I know you. Something is clearly wrong. And you telling me nothing is, first of all, just a lie. And second of all, not helping us find a solution to the problem at hand. If you do want to talk about it later, you don't think I'm going to receive it well, that's definitely an answer you could give in addition.
Sure.
I'm also a big fan of that. I agree, Robert. Like nothing is just the worst.
But telling someone, hey, you're not going to get it is just going to lead to a fight.
Yeah. But hey, I just don't feel like talking about it right now. Can we talk about it later?
Men could do the same thing.
Honestly, I agree. I'll give it to you.
I think that we all could do better in communicating when something's wrong, but we haven't even processed it enough.
Facts. To
have the conversation. Also, there was something that we talked about, or I put in pitches this week, and it was like, make sure your basic needs are met before you have a fight with someone. Make sure that you aren't thirsty, aren't hungry, probably aren't drunk, that you've had some sleep before you get into it, or you're screwed.
I love that.
And
so
on
much.
that note,
that was great.
The other thing, I threw up 2 random polls last night because I was like thinking about the guys versus girls. And I asked, who has it easier when it comes to dating? And I was shocked by this.
Yeah, you're telling me, dude. You are telling me.
The result was 66% think men have it easier when dating, and that 34% think women do.
I'm sorry, what? No.
I'm going to agree with you on this, Jon. That's not true.
I just think there's so many things that come into play here. Like, who's typically expected to make the first move?
Right.
Who's typically expected to take care of at least the first date?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how often does a girl actually get denied from a guy? Can we talk about how girls can just walk their way into clubs? I feel like
That's not dating.
I mean, still, I just feel like girls are usually more desired than men are. You know, men will pretty much like just love girls, I think. Like,
I think that the difference is I think you're right with those first stages. Women have it easier, but when you're actually trying to get into a relationship, men have it easier because they so often are just like, oh, I just like don't want a relationship after doing everything that they've.
I think girls do that too. I don't think that's men having it easier. I think that's just some men not being able to decide, which is a fault.
Okay.
But I don't think that's a men exclusive thing. I think there
True.
are most ways in life. I think there are many ways in life that men have it easier. In fact, I'd probably argue most things in life men have things easier.
Yes,
like we just do. Like I don't have to worry about my safety. Like just I could go on forever. However, I don't think dating is one of those things. I think dating women.
I'm with you on this.
You just have it easier.
I'm with you on this.
I think this just goes because I literally looked it up on our Instagram too. I went through insights and 74% of our followers are women. So 74% of our Instagram audience are women. So like, I'm going to, I get it.
Yeah.
You're just wrong. It's okay. You're wrong.
That's okay.
You'll be wrong.
The second one, actually, before I say that, you said something like men don't have to worry about safety as much.
Yep.
There was truly a moment when I was in Nashville walking in the ice trying to find food where I was like, I could get captured. I could get abducted at any moment.
Yeah.
And that was really scary. No. Yeah. So ladies, bring your keys, put them between your knuckles. Who has it easier when it comes to looks? So this is what I was thinking. Like, I really thought maybe people would say women because we have makeup and we have kind of more variety of clothing and all that. Nope. 68% men, 32% women.
Yeah, this was a little tricky, but I actually think I agree with this.
Do you?
I think when it comes to looks,
it's easier for a man to be hot than a girl to be hot.
Yeah, I do think so. But also at the same time, I think women care less about looks as well. Like
That's just true. We're not so shallow.
Yeah, there are some gorgeous women just dating some like goofy looking dudes. I mean,
oh yeah, I've been one of them.
Dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a fact though. Like there are some dudes that I'm just like, bro, like how? Like you're funny. Like you got to be funny or maybe rich or like whatever. I just think women care less. Like you don't have to be as attractive as a dude.
If you have a great personality, we're going to give you a chance.
I agree. Mm-hmm. Most of the time women will. And I think some men, not all, some men are more shallow when it comes to that. Like they are much more judgmental on the appearance before it comes to the rest of it. And I think that's a fault sometimes, but I think it's the truth. And like if men want to go out, like we could go out in like a pants and a t-shirt. Like we don't have to put a whole outfit together. We don't have to worry about makeup or jewelry or like any of that. Like we can, it's a plus, but like we don't have to.
I've had a lot of conversations in recent, so like sneakers for women have become a lot more popular. And so sometimes I'm like, am I allowed to wear sneakers to this event? Do I need to wear heels? When do I wear heels? Have I ever worn heels in the last 2 years? Not really. So I get it. I get what you're saying.
I'm a fan of sneakers on women always.
Platform sneakers are my ish right now. So
okay.
Style, baby. I was gonna do a balls deep question today, but we have talked for eternity.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to. But I do want to point out that we're now on TikTok.
Hey,
so
what's
you can
up?
find us same as our Instagram at Almost On Air.
We're going.
I also think what?
We're going to the moon.
We're going to the moon is what's happening.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're here for the journey. We are taking off.
And I think there's going to be a part 2 of this episode, men versus women, because I'd really like to do an episode about male and female friendships.
That's a good one.
So look for that maybe in the next month. We're going to do that one.
Also, we're probably going to throw some guests in there pretty soon too.
Yes.
I'd love to talk to people with just cool stories or just genuine good people because I feel like it's nice to hear from some good people in the world.
Yeah. So if you have anyone that you'd like us to talk to, feel free to message us.
Pow, pow.
We will do our best. And in the meantime, go watch us on YouTube.
Hey.
Subscribe to our podcast, wherever you're listening to it. I don't know what I'm saying.
I love it. No, I'm in.
And I think that's it. TikTok. Oh. And we'll have a new music playlist up probably by tonight because realistically, I haven't done New Music Friday yet.
It's like kind of trash this week, to be honest.
So what? No, have you heard? There will be stuff. I know there's stuff. There's a new Taylor Swift song. Come on. And that's on Spotify and it's called the Almost New Music Friday.
Sure is.
Playlist? Yeah. So go find us on everything. Also, our Instagram has a link tree and you can just find everything there.
That's what I was going to say. There's a nice little link in our bio. It's like kind of blue. You click it. Everything's right there.
It's kind of blue. Cool. Okay, we're going to go now.